you talked a little bit about, and I tweeted out during the game, during the Thursday night game,
right.
Joe Flacco actually in the first half looked better than Peyton Manning did. Remember, Peyton Manning's first half was horrible against the Ravens, and Flacco and the Ravens, I thought, looked awesome in the first half. And then going to the half, I'm going, well, this is going to be another Ravens win right here. And then I went to bed, and then I wake up, second half, it's like, oh, Peyton Manning, somebody slept on Peyton Manning. And if you had him on your fantasy team, which I have him on about 3 of mine, he got you between 60 and 75 points, depending on which league you're in. I mean, we just balled out.
All right, this is one of the great features of the show. We're going to go to stressed out Eric, who's sitting over there. Eric, what do you want us to do with – oh, look at you.
Oh, nice. Little shimmy.
What do you want us to go to the phone line with Garrett, or do you want us to just go straight to the phone line? Just
crazy caller. He's ticked.
He's mad. We're going to go to line 1. All right, let's he screened it. Sorry about that. I hit the wrong button. This is who? Dave, is that your name?
Yeah, that's my name.
All right, Dave, what do you got for us?
Hey, how come they didn't bench O'Neal Cousins yesterday?
Well, how can you bench O'Neal Cousins? Where else are you going to go? You going to put Garrett Gilkey in there?
You got the rookie. Why not bring in Garrett Gilkey? Give him a shot. He couldn't have been worse than Cousins.
Well, I tell you what, Garrett Gilkey has 0 experience in the NFL, and O'Neal Cousins has played in the NFL before. So, Dave, I don't know how you can and if you're the head coach and you're looking at these two guys trying to figure out exactly what you're going to do, I don't know how you go to Gilkey yesterday. I don't think he was ready. And if what we saw out of O'Neal Cousins was bad, guess what we would have seen out of Garrett Gilkey yesterday? Look, I'm not all in favor of what the coaching staff did yesterday, but O'Neal Cousins was the better choice yesterday, even though he didn't play well at all.
No, and Garrett Gilkey was like deer in the headlight, Dave. There's no doubt about it. To even throw him out there would have been crazy.
Could they have been worse than Cousins? Could anybody? I could have blocked better than Cousins did yesterday.
Well, why don't you put on a uniform and you can go out there and we'll see if you can play.
Bring it.
All right, we'll see.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
We'll see you later. Everybody's an armchair quarterback at home, aren't they?
Yeah, but you do make a good point, because as a Browns fan, there's Dave sitting there watching the game like the rest of us, and you're wondering the same thing. But, O'Neal Cousins has multiple starts under his belt. I mean, this is a guy that came in and actually played very well last year when the Browns needed him to come in and fill in due to some injuries. Laval was injured last year, and Cousins came in and played well. That wasn't the case yesterday. It was one of those things where one sack led to another, and then all of a sudden it kind of snowballed on O'Neal Cousins. Things went downhill quick. He got beat for a sack. Then he comes up with a holding call, which took away a big play. Then he gets beat again. It was one of those things where everything just started to compound, and I think it got into his head. And just that whole side of the line struggled yesterday.
All right, let's try to go back to Garrett Downing. Garrett from Ravens.com.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, now you look good.
There's the man. All right.
All right, much better. Where are you at Ravens headquarters there in Owens Mills, or where are you?
I'm at Garrett Downing's headquarters here in downtown Baltimore.
All right, tell me about your Ravens, because they looked horrible on Thursday night. I mean, horrible.
Yeah, they did. I think that basically they have a remade defense, so they're trying to kind of figure out the pieces. They've got a bunch of new players there, 8 players that started games from last year's team, no longer on the defense on Thursday night. So they're just going through the process of getting used to playing with each other. So I think that Peyton Manning exploited some of those things there. And then I think offensively, once they got into the second half, they had a couple of mistakes. They had the block punt, and then all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. They're down 3 touchdowns, and the running game is no longer part of the equation. I think the Ravens want to air it out this year, but they also don't want to completely get away from the running game when you have Ray Rice. And that's what ended up happening the other night. So I think that Thursday night may have been, in the end up being a good thing, because when you're the defending Super Bowl champ, sometimes when you need to eat a little bit of humble pie, I guess, early on, and that's what I think they did Thursday night.
Garrett, we look ahead to Sunday's game, and we were talking about it on the air, and the way it sets up. You're going into M&T Bank Stadium into Raven territory where there's nothing but purple, and you're handing out Super Bowl rings. Can you only imagine what that atmosphere is going to be like? And then to put the Browns in that situation coming off the loss that they had this Sunday.
Yeah, I was talking to some people yesterday. I was actually at a family wedding with a bunch of people from Cleveland, and they said, you know what, I don't think it's fair that the NFL schedule makers drew the Browns in the week 2, the home opener for the Ravens, especially after this the way the season started for the Ravens, where they're going to be looking to get on the right track. So, yeah, it's going to be a big atmosphere, a great environment. There's going to be – fans are going to be riled up. Both teams are going to be really hungry. The Ravens, I know, are going to be really hungry after having to sit in here for 10 days, how terrible they are. That's one thing when you play that first game of the year, then you have that opening weekend off. You just get to sit in here for 3 days and then the entire next week about how horrible you are. So that's going to be fresh on their minds. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough game for the Browns. I think that both teams are still trying to kind of find their way in terms of what they want to be and how they want to play. So it's going to be a tough environment for the Browns. I think the Ravens will obviously be favored in that game. But, yeah, the Ravens have big questions to answer too. So as tough of an environment as it is, it's obviously no gimme.
All right, Garrett, thank you. Garrett Downing from Ravens.com. Next week we'll spend a little bit more time with you. We appreciate all your help, buddy.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, make sure you read him on Ravens.com as well. So, all right, let's go to the fan Skype line right now. Lou is in the house. Hi, Lou. How are you? Can you hear us? Hey, Lou.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Everything's beautiful. All right, Lou. Lou Abraham. You know who his dad was?
I know this guy's one of the best damn golfers I've ever seen. I can tell you that right now.
Well, I can tell you this, that his dad is a legend in this town. He is a legend in this town. The man in the brown suit that used to catch the extra points is Lou's father. So, Lou, thank you for being a part of Browns history. What do you got for us today?
Well, you know what? We're all Browns fans. We've seen it before. We've been there before. We just need to keep the faith, and hopefully this is a learning lesson, and they'll be able to turn things around.
But, Lou, isn't there a part of you that's saying same old story, different year?
You know what? Yes, to answer your question directly, but I have confidence in everybody from Haslam down through the coaching staff, the players, and, you know, I'm comfortable with the way things are moving forward.
You know, Lou, you're there with us in the press box each and every home game. You've done it for years and years and years. Didn't you sense coming in that this year was going to be completely different? You could just sense the atmosphere was going to be different. I know I felt really jacked for the start of this season because of all the changes. And I just walking into that press box, I had a completely different feeling. But walking out, I had the same feeling I've had for the last 13 years.
I totally agree. I was very optimistic. I'm still optimistic, but, you know, it's very disappointing. But again, you know what? How long have I been a Browns fan? And, you know, I had brown diapers on before they got put on.
I think we all
Those
did,
were
Lou.
team logo
Yes,
diapers,
they
though,
were.
not brown diapers. Those were team logo diapers.
Okay. Well, mine were brown before I put them on.
All right, Lou. Hey, thank you for your time. We appreciate it. And
All
please
right,
call
guys,
in.
best of luck. Congratulations on your new show, and we'll look forward to seeing you in about 3 weeks.
All right, thank you very much, Lou. Outstanding. Lou Abraham joining us
Great
here.
guy.
Right here on Dogs on the Run. And if you want to join us, Dogs on the Run on Skype, just like Lou did. Dogs on the Run, DAWGS on the Run, or give us a call at 216-431-3820. Or if you want to Twitter at us or tweet at us, I can't believe I just sounded like my dad, didn't I?
You did.
I mean, I'm a big.
Where is your dad? Where is Al? Big Al. I want him to Skype in. Now, if he Skyped in, that would be the best.
He knows how to Skype. He'll
All right.
Skype in.
All right, I want Al to Skype in.
Andy_Baskin is how you hit us on Twitter. In fact, Josh Cribbs is going to join us in just 1 second here. And if you have a question for Josh Cribbs, who is our analyst on this show, please feel free to tweet at us just like Larry did. Larry said, talking about the game yesterday, at least we have that awesome drum line.
It was awesome, yeah.
They were pretty good. Gary also says on Twitter, the Kent State Bowling Green game had more excitement than the Browns game did yesterday. It's Hoyer time. Bye-bye, Whedon. It's always
So
great
you
to
skip Jason Campbell?
It's always great to be the backup quarterback here in Northeast Ohio.
That's the
isn't it?
third-string quarterback here in Cleveland. Let's get that. I mean, I love Brian Hoyer. I mean, followed him all through high school and on his way to Michigan State. But come on now, let's not panic after one loss, and we're not ready to put the third-string quarterback in right now.
All right. Again, if you have questions for Josh Cribbs, send them to us at Twitter at Andy_Baskin. Let's go back to Josh, who is hanging out in Josh's crib, of course. What a great show that was on Fox Sports Net, by the way. I loved watching that show, Josh.
That was a good show.
I like doing it. You know, just got a little bit in the way. Had to, refocus and, worry about what's most important is football.
All right, we still like the show. I know football is important to you.
I love it. Look at it. He's got the professional lighting on him. Look at he's got the corner office. Look at the sun's coming up. Wait, this is tremendous. You're going to get this every Monday.
More important, though, you've got the Kent State hat on. That's the most important thing.
Definitely. Gotta see that.
Live and die. Hey, you know what? Talk a little bit about yesterday. How many times as a kick returner in all the years that you've returned kicks, how nervous were you? How many 8-yard returns did we see out of the back of the end zone? And how many times did you stand up and go, whoa, 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 take a knee? That's Josh Cribbs like, huh? That's what I thought immediately.
You know what? I did feel some type of way. I try to always look at the game biased. being as though I'm not on the team anymore. I try to be unbiased with, my thoughts, but it's hard to being at that position so many years. I'm like, come on, man. I know Chris Tabor was, upset, that they didn't get more out of the kick return, because, that's your starting position. That's what, you give your quarterback, you give your offense to start. And that's another reason, that we didn't struggle. If you look at the field position all day, it wasn't, like it usually is for him when he does good in football games.
No, that's exactly you know what? That's exactly what I thought with Rainey returning the kicks. I was wondering how many times would Josh Cribbs, if he was back there with him, would he have stopped him from getting out of the end zone? Because you're talking about starting field position at the 14, at the 15. I think he had one return, was his last return out to the 25. But this is what you've done for so many years, and you've done it really well, and you're a Pro Bowler for it, was you gave these guys a chance. It's momentum, isn't it? When you take that ball out, you're out at the 30, 35, 40. The playbook is wide open at that point, and you give your offense the best start it could possibly have.
Definitely, and that's real important when you need an offense to score some points for you, because it affects the whole game. Special teams affects the offense. When you talk about the return game, and then in turn the offense affects the defense. So it all works together and join. You give you want to back the defense up. When you're in the coverage units, and when you're on offensive coverage units, the kick return, the return unit, you want to give them as much field position as possible, and that can hinder them if you're always starting inside the 20-yard line. You're giving your offense a long way to travel.
Hey, Josh, you talked about Chris Tabor. He's the only coach that was retained out of the big coaches that came back this year. Your thoughts on what makes him so special and why there's always hope for the special teams if he's your special teams coach?
Well, our special teams at the Browns have been always notably good. When a team comes into the Brown Stadium, they always have to watch out for the Browns, great special teams, coverage units, great return units, and, that's a testament not only to the coach, but the players. We've always had, a tight-knit group. You had your Phil Dawson, myself, then Travis came along. Then you had Bubba Ventrone, Raymond Ventrone. We had guys like Costanzo, you had, Nick Sorensen. We had good special teams core guys that played on a team that really knew that it meant winning and losing if we didn't get the field position. And, Chris, it's a testament of Chris Tabor. He was there when we, he sent, I was a Pro Bowl backup, so I was able to go to the Pro Bowl. That speaks testaments. The individual players that do well, that's a testament of the special teams coordinator, and, rightfully so. He deserved to stay.
Josh, set the scene now for Browns fans and bring us through the NFL players' world. As you just got done with the loss on Sunday, guys are heading back into the facility, if they're not there already, to begin to watch film, to begin to break down yesterday's game and look ahead. So kind of take us through, if you would, what's happened in that loss and how quickly guys like yourself try to put this behind you, because you've got to focus in on the Ravens on Sunday.
You know what? It's like you look for a certain situation. You look for this game to define you, but it doesn't. This is one game. So we go in, we try to weigh in heavy. They say, it's one game. You want to take it in stride. You want to say, don't take it to heart too much. But players do. They go in, they're exhausted from the loss. They're tired from the game that they just played. And they look for the head coach to say, hey, it's not over yet. They look for the head coach to give them that inspiration to say, hey, these are the things that you did good. And these are the things that you did bad. That's not too bad, that we can work on this week and show improvement and go into the next game with this much, capacity and capability to win. We're a winning football team. So they look for the head coach to bring them out of that slump from that loss. And I think that's what's going on right now. They're correcting themselves, and they're going to enter this week with an opportunity to go out and win a football game.
Hey, Josh, how long does it take to get over a loss? I know you got to let it go as soon as you walk off the field, but from a fan's perspective, you look at yesterday's game, you say, okay, we've got the Dolphins. If we win this game, we can start the season off on the right foot. I know we've got Baltimore coming up next week. They got blown out on Thursday night. This could be a great opportunity. From a fan's perspective, fans are probably looking at this going, this team's going to be 0-4. But if you won yesterday, everyone's talking about the Super Bowl.
I think every team in the AFC North lost yesterday, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, not yesterday, but their first game.
Right.
And that also, plays in the factor. They like, we're not all is lost is not in the, all is lost. All is not lost in the division. And that's what, we think about. We're always thinking about, the next level, the playoffs, what's next. And that brings hope to them. But in actuality, until Wednesday comes along, until they're, scouting another team, that's when they truly can, let that loss go. When they're focused on another football team, when that, that's only when they put that loss behind them, when they start focusing on another team to play.
Outstanding. Josh, we're going to talk to you a little bit after 8 o'clock as well. We appreciate you being a part of the show, and you're a great co-host.
He really is.
You're outstanding.
I'll be here.
All right. We'll talk to you in a couple minutes, about 20 minutes from now.